Everybody, Bennett for the Bonehead podcast, and we've got more Blood Bowl Season 3 reveals and news today. So over the last couple of days, Games Workshop dropped a big article talking about teams changing. You can see a video about that, and there's a couple of comments in there about it. So if you want to see how other people feel, go check that out. But we will be talking about it on the podcast this weekend. But they have also shown off 4 star players. And I think what we're seeing is quite interesting. All right, so we've gathered the 4 star players that the Warhammer community have showed off over the last few days, and we're going to compare them to the 2020 version because it feels like they're a little bit toned down, which I think you'll all appreciate is what we've been asking for. So let's have a look at Big G himself, Griff Oberwald. So on the left-hand side, we've got the 2025 edition. On the right-hand side, we've got the 2020 version. So movement 7, strength 4, edge 2+, edge 2+, passing 3+, passing 3+, armor 9+, armor 9+, 300,000 versus versus 280,000. So he's gone up in price a little bit. Skills and traits. Now, obviously, we haven't seen the full rules reveal yet, so some of the rules may have changed for some of the skills, but I mean, I think it's unlikely. Block, dodge, fend, loner 3+, sprint, sure feet, all exactly the same. Plays for Old World Classic in the new edition, Halfling Thimble Cup or Old World Classic in the old edition. Now, we don't really know how teams go about doing that, but it might be that Halflings lose Griff a bit. Possible. I think, again, also very unlikely. Right, what else have we got? So Consummate Professional. This is the thing that I think is quite interesting because it looks like the powers, the special powers that the star players had, they were really cheap, they were really effective, they could play for everybody, and the special powers that they had were egregious. But it doesn't seem quite so bad anymore. So in the 2020 edition, Consummate Professional, once per game, Griff may apply... No, this is the new edition, the new version, sorry. Once per game, Griff may apply +1 modifier to an agility test he has made. This modifier may be applied after the roll. So, agility test, dodging, picking up the ball, right? Jumping over people, probably. He's got sprint, so he's getting to re-roll that. That's not agility. He's got dodge, so he gets to do that. So it's an interesting one. It boosts up his ability to dodge or pick up the ball once per game. Now he's edge 2+ anyway, so we're going to be talking like in a tackle zone territory is probably where that's only going to come in. Now the old edition was once per game, Griff may re-roll 1 dice that was rolled either as a single dice roll, as a part of a multiple dice roll, or as part of a dice pool. So the old Griff could re-roll a block dice, could re-roll just basically absolutely anything. So new Griff, bit more expensive, and he gets +1 to an agility test. Okay, it's really cool that you can do it retroactively. That is going to be beneficial, but that's better than just him being able to free roll any dice ever known to man. So I like that. And we've got, yeah, I like that. Grim Ironjaw. So the Dwarf Slayer champion. Movement 5, strength 4, edge 3+, passing 6+. He's now got a 6+ passing. They did talk in the article yesterday about passing being boosted and lots more people having better passing. The fact he can now pass at all is great. 6 still sucks, but Grim Ironjaw is not really there to be your quarterback. Armor 9+ stays the same. He's a little cheaper in the new edition. So block, dauntless, frenzy, loner, yeah, the typo lover 4+, yeah, multiple block and thick skull. Now he's got hatred, big guy. I don't know if we've seen anything about what hatred is. I'm assuming that means he hates big guys, which will do a thing. You know, I don't think it was covered in the article, but hey. So he's got an extra skill there that will... I wonder if that gives him a... Yeah, I don't know. So plays for Worlds, Edge, Super League. That's the fine. That's probably the same as it is now, right? So once per game, this was his 2020 power. Once per game, when an opposition player with a strength characteristics or 5 or more is knocked down as a result of block action performed by Grim, you may apply an additional +1 modifier to either the armor or injury roll. This modifier may be applied after the roll is made. So he gets, in this edition, Super Mighty Blow against a big guy. In the new edition, Slayer, once per game when an opposition big guy is knocked down, it is exactly the same. Okay, so he's got a little cheaper which may mean he gets taken a bit better. He's got a pass stat now as opposed to not having a pass stat before. Now, remember, people without pass stats are just prime opportunity to throw a bomb at. I mean, he's Edge 3. So Edge 3 is not bad. There's an interesting one. So Grim got a little bit buffed. Count Luther. Movement 6, movement 6, strength 5, edge 2 plus, passing 3 plus, armor 10 plus. So exactly the same. Cost, he's gone down in cost to 300 from 340k. That's massive. Block, hypno, loner, regen, sidestep, same skills. Star of the show, once per game when Luther scores a touchdown, his controlling coach may gain 1 team reroll. Star of the show, once per game when Luther scores a touchdown. Yeah, so exactly the same. In fact, he's got cheaper. That's interesting. He's got cheaper. His power was probably one of the worst ones though, right? Skrorg also had this kind of thing, like the showboating thing. I think it's really cool, but it is just a nothing most of the time. Luther's great. He will score touchdowns, but you're going to score a touchdown turn 6, turn 7, and you're going to have a reroll for a couple of turns. It can come in handy, right? It can absolutely come in handy. I'm not poo-pooing it entirely, but it is it's not game warping like Griff's power to reroll 1 dice for, ever for the sake of it. Very different. All right, Rodney Roachbait. Movement 6, strength 2, edge 3 plus, passing 4 plus, armor 7 plus, same cost, catch, diving catch, jump up, loner 4 plus, on the ball, sidestep, stunty, wrestle. Plays for Woodland League. Okay, plays for Halfling Thimble Cup. Okay, Woodland League. Ooh, I wonder if elves can take gnome star players. That would be quite good. Catch of the day, once per half. If Rodney is standing and begins his activation within 3 squares of a ball which is on the ground, he may roll a d6. And once nothing happens on a 3 plus, Rodney immediately gains possession of the ball. It is exactly the same. All right, so I went into this looking at the Griff and thinking, wow, Griff's got more expensive in his power. His power is less good now. That's quite cool. Are we going to see a trend where star players get turned down a little bit? That is not what we've seen, right? That is not what we've seen at all. In fact, if we go back to it, Griff has got worse. He's got more expensive and his power's lessened. Okay, probably fair. Grim Ironjaw has got a little bit buffed. He's a little bit cheaper. He can now throw something, but he's now basically exactly the same. Luther has got cheaper. His power is the same, and Rodney Roachbait is literally the same, except his Woodland League now instead of Halfling Thimble Cup. So I don't really know if we can take much from this. I think, it would be remiss of me to say that star players were not a problem in the last edition. They were kind of very easy to take. They played for a lot of people and they were game warping. Griff was brutal. Hackflem was worse. Morg was OP. I am really interested to see those guys, to be honest. I want to see what Hackflem looks like in this edition. I want to see if Morg turns up and if they fixed Mighty Blow +2, which was just boring, right? It was just like Morg is brutal because he's Mighty Blow +2. Griff is too good because he just gets free reroll. So I actually think Griff is fixed now. 300k is still very expensive. Like 300k is more expensive than it used to be. So yes, now I guess we kind of got to think about this with the other big news, which is that all the rosters have changed, right? So it's a 1 box league now. So humans, 2 blitzers and 2 catchers, and that's it basically. Orcs even worse. So Griff, now we don't know what compensation they're going to get. For example, Skaven, 2 gutter runners, but the blitzers are now movement 8 and they get strip ball. That's quite fun. That's quite fun. RIP gutter runners. So it's possible that actually star players can play more of a role because you're going to have less money to spend on your positionals. So there's going to be that yeah, but then again on the other side you're going to have everybody's going to be in that boat, aren't they? So TV differential may be less, so it's possible that we'll just see the more expensive star players a little bit less. I don't know. I want to see Hackflem's rules. I want to see Morg's rules. I think those are the 2 other ones that kind of... Oh no, we need to see Bomber, right? We need to see Bomber. Bomber needs to not be 50k and it needs to not be able to play for everybody. Same for Cindy Pie Whistle. I think that would be... Look, the first look at the rules article, there's a lot of great stuff in there. I think everyone being able to pick up the ball easier is going to be much better. I think there's going to be a lot of quality of life stuff. I just think, okay, quality of life up, teams, I mean, it will probably be fine, but, you know, the emotional reaction to that is, okay, all right, the game may be better, but the teams, there's a bit of a feels punch there. Let's see if they can land star players right. Let's see if we can fix star players, fix the game, break the teams. It's a 2-1 grind. That's kind of the Blood Bowl way. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments below, and we'll be back with more Blood Bowl content. Happy blocking.